I'm your host, Dulci Hill, and today is Thursday. And what are we going to talk about? LDL, LDN, LDN, low dose nitrox, nec, n- I can't say, I can't say, naloxone. Isolationist, self-imposed isolation, and we need to talk about that because I don't know about you guys, but I am becoming antisocial. Believe it or not, and I am such an extrovert. Normally, I like to describe myself as a parasite. I like to just go around and listen to people and converse with them and suck the life out of them because what do extroverts do? Hi Aphrodite, what do extroverts do? Extroverts like to be around people to get their energy from them. Right, but when you have MS, when you have any chronic disease, when you have any hurt, when you're dealing with any emotion, what happens to us? We tend to almost it's a wound. What happens when we feel wounded? When our feelings are hurt, or when we just don't feel 100%? What do we do? What do we do? What do I do? What do I want to be left alone. I do. I don't want to talk to people. I and it's so hard because I went to the gym last 2 days and I just wasn't. I haven't been feeling that well, and maybe it's because my luggage is still lost. Uh, Although Southwest is it just paid for a recharge on my scooter because it was in the suitcase I got lost. The scooter battery recharger. It's always something. So maybe I'm just run down because of that. I'm dizzier. It's just not that fun. So what happens? We don't feel well. We don't return phone calls. So there's a lot of loved ones. My mom has been driving by the house when I've been out, but she doesn't call. And my husband texted me. I was at the pool, and I received that text a little while later, and he said, "Your mom just drove by the house," but I was at the house until 2 o'clock. So she drove by. If she was here any earlier, she would have seen me. And then my father has been calling. So I know I got to call him. But when you don't feel good, and I was trained at some point to be a salesperson. And one of the training that the sessions I remember is you do not pick up a phone. You don't pick up the phone unless you have a smile on your face. Hi, Betty Joe. I got your devotion today. Thank you for emailing me and the birthday card. I love you for sending that to me. It just my soul sang, and you're precious. I it just these birthday cards you guys send me makes me think of you, makes me pray for you. Yeah, but all right, we're talking about isolation. All right, isolationist. Yeah, there's a number of them watching. Is that you, Gina? Who's watching? Sarah? Because on YouTube we've got lurkers that aren't chatting, but we've got a number of people watching. So anyway, it's isolationist, and we all get like this when it gets hot. Dennis, 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 you're not afraid to make your presence known. And Sarah, you know what? I knew it. I felt. I said, Sarah is there. It's awesome. But I want to tell you, Sarah, Dennis, Betty, Joe, Cheryl, Cheryl, I love that you're here. Um, so what I'm going to say is, Cheryl, because I'm not going to share on your wonderful forum. Uh, and by the way, for those of you on YouTube and those of you watching this on my channel, Cheryl Hawks has a is it a private group, or but it's a group called It's Not All MS, and it'll fill you up with wonderful. Your administrators are great. Anyway, so Cheryl, make a long story short, if you like what we're talking about after the fact, you can share it on It's Not All MS. But because unfortunately, when you've walked with MS as long as I have, it is. I love you guys that said MS isn't about me. I'm a fighter. I'll fight to the end. Oh my gosh. God bless you, because it is, it's, after a while, you want to say, you know what? I don't want to be a fighter anymore. I don't want to be around anybody. I don't want to disappoint. Yesterday, I was walking in from the back porch into the house, and my pills that are in that fish for lures or beads or fell off of my walker, and everything blew up, and pills were all in the sliding glass door track. So it's up there, and I had let's see, two disasters before 9 o'clock yesterday. So when I went over, yeah, it's fighter. What, you choose your fights, right? All of a sudden, your spouse isn't as big as a problem as he was before. You got bad. I don't know. But what happens? You've got vertigo. How do you treat vertigo? How do you how do you deal with situations that are ongoing? It's called life, because we all have problems, right? We all have. Uh, Everybody's got something they're dealing with. But when all of a sudden you've got to deal with it, your disability, with balancing, with dropping things, with all these things. It's like the camel. Why do we always go back to stacking the straws on the camel's back instead of having a herd of camels, right? I've got to do that. Susan! Susan, never, you know what? Susan, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Whenever anybody worries about me, please just pray. Just pray, because ultimately, Susan, ultimately, we belong to God. We belong to God. This, this we belong to God. We belong to each other. Do I need to go down, and I was, my ministry, the bookmark ministry, I was going down to the Bel Air Athletic Club. Hi, Sarah. I was going down there swimming, and everybody's wearing G-strings. G-strings. Oh my gosh. I mean, I could post pictures without faces of all the butts that are inundating me. And you know what? I'm not a prude. I am. If you're watching and you have MS for over 30 years, you know what? G-string? Oh heck no. We'll get naked in a public pool. It's like now, you know what? We have lost enough dignity that nudity is an issue. So when I asked this one gal who had I mean, it was a Brazilian bathing suit at a family club, and I said, don't you worry about decorum? Don't you worry about, you know, people, I don't know, looking at you? She says, I don't care. I don't care. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people looking at me. And I'm like, well, I do. She says, but here's the thing. Here is the thing. She said something amazing to me because I was hurting, and I said, why are you wearing a G-string in a public pool? Right? Because I'm like a 90-year-old lady. Just because you can say something, should you? Well, I wasn't feeling well. I said something. And she was pretty nasty back, but I can handle nasty. She said, "There's no dress code here," and I got to thinking about that and praying about that, and I ended up going up behind her or going up to her and saying, "Please forgive me. I didn't realize." The problem is not you. The problem is the dress code. And I shouldn't, I'm so sorry. You have a beautiful body. And if you want to show it and there's no dress code, that's on me, not on you. So I emailed the club. I mean, we're not in Brazil. It's not a topless beach at the Bel Air Athletic Club. All right. Now I walk around the locker room naked. Nobody else does, and the mothers bring their boys in there. So if an 8-year-old boy is walking through, I'm gonna give him something to look at. I'm gonna because you know what? That shames. I don't know. There has to if the sanctity of being undressed in a women's locker room, walking around when you're disabled. So you're trying to get your towel, you're trying to your hair, your bathing suit, and all. Last thing I'm worried about is you having teenage boys in the locker room. I mean, they're not teenage boys; they're under 10, but still, I'm not gonna worry about it. You take care of that problem, right? Because it's whack a mole, right? It's Come on, yeah, there's common courtesy, but there's me trying to get into the locker room, get my stuff all together. But remember, and there's only one handicap shower, and I know you guys can handle this because that handicap shower or the bathroom and all is not handicapped. The handicap door, children, they're for children. All right. They're not for you. They're not for me, right? So we have to sit there and wait for them to come out. And the mothers are so overwhelmed with what they have to do that they're not even thinking about their pubescent 8-year-old, 9-year-old little boy walking around staring at naked crippled people. And I don't care. I don't care. However, it's in the sanctity of the women's dressing room. It's not like I'm wearing a G string or I'm walking around naked out there by the pool. Everybody else is. So, anyway, if you want to see the bathing suits or lack of bathing suits, you want a strip club that has more clothing than the Bel Air Athletic Club, come down and join me today. You will see some butts and you'll see all sizes with G strings. I'll tell you what, maybe I ought to wear a G string and pasties. Hi, AJ. Hi, AJ. No, you know what? It's not brave. It's being this way. Hi there, Connie. It's not being brave, right? It's how brave. Am I brave because I walk across the women's locker room naked? If I don't have my full size towel, and because it's in my locker, and I had to get into the disability shower before the teenagers who are afraid to show their body, their perfect little bodies, they're afraid to be naked in the main locker room, so they go into the handicap, which is huge. All right. So I got to get into the handicap shower before anybody else does, even if it means I don't grab a towel from my locker. But that means that I'm walking wet with my scooter. I'm going into the locker room, but again, I'm talking too much about this. So, isolation. What do we do when we don't feel like talking? In fact, I went up to the top, the Bel Air Athletic Club, the very top pool. There were butts, there were G strings. It was in, and there was a woman who swam up and said, "Dulci," which startled me. And she says, "How are you doing?" Everybody wants to talk to me because now I'm back. Not everyone. So she says, "Dulcie," and she says, "How you doing?" And I looked at her and I said, "Talking is effort." And that was yesterday. Yesterday, I tried two Ritalin at once. And what did it do? It lifted the fog a little bit, but it still made me want to be alone. So here I am with all these great people. My friend, just there's people went up to play cards for 2 days in a row. You know what I did yesterday? I turned around, went into the gym and lifted weights. I lifted weights. I did that because I didn't want to schmooze. I didn't want to swim. Like today, I'll swim after we're done. Here, I'll go down, but and I'll do that. And because what I feel is, I feel like I want to be an isolationist again. I know we're talking about low dose LDN, and I meant to call my neurologist. I want to get somebody on the phone so that you can hear. Yeah, I wanna do that. Also, I'd like to do that. So isolationist, all right, and we have to be so careful. All right, Dennis, I am talking to you because I'm feeling that this is something, when you guys, AJ, what about you? When you're not feeling well, when you're not feeling well, you don't feel like, does anybody else not feel like talking to neighbors or friends or relatives? Or I ran into my brother yesterday at the Bel Air Athletic Club when I was just mentioning that they should have a dress code. Uh, so that Brazilian bikinis and the waxes. Oh my gosh, they have to get waxed. I don't know. I said, is there anything that can be done? So the headquarters, I said, is there anything that can be done? Is there a dress code? The dress code is, as long as it's a bathing suit, it's okay. All right. All right. So you guys are tasked to find the most outrageous bathing suit and send it to me. All right. Email me that so I can show you. IDD. Uh, you know, but yeah, I want to be left, and it's terrible because I have my husband who comes in and wants to talk to me, and it's like he says, "Oh, the next door neighbor wants you to see his garden." Uh, uh, I just can't do it. Can't do it. Don't want to do it. Just can't do it. Don't want to do it. You just don't. In fact, I have to be honest. A lot of times in the evening, I don't want to even talk to my sweet spouse who's doing so much. Picked up all the pills that I dropped in between coming. Picked up all my pills that I dropped all over the place. All right. No, Susan, ask a question. Sarah's right. You're not interrupting. I'm only talking about what's dealing with me. So I saw my brother yesterday. My sister-in-law's been going through some health concerns, and first time. It's interesting that I perceive that they don't feel that I'm being compassionate by calling. I don't know. You're not supposed to project what other people are thinking when you're surviving, right? You're not supposed to do that. So here I am looking, and he hears me complaining, and he does, but it's I've been going through difficulties. I know you are, when people don't ask you how you're doing, they can't get upset I don't like to talk about health. I don't like talking about my health, your health, unless it's solution oriented, unless there's a way that we can be comforted. Susan Hill, what is your question? Susan Hill, what is your question? All right, so we have to be so careful having MS. This is at any stage. At any stage, we tend to not do things. We'll stay in the house. We'll lay in our beds. We'll be so kind to ourselves. We won't push ourselves. Remember the bookmark? It says just today I will use my body. I will use my mind. Look at the bookmark I sent you. We have to do that. We have to do that. So I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to try to be on my best behavior. I'm going to push. I'm going to ask Jesus, dear Heaven. In fact, let me ask Jesus for all of us right now. Dear Heavenly Father, I lift everyone who's watching right now, everyone. I lift us all up. We are struggling. Some of us would not be so bold as to say we're warriors, except for we're warriors for you. And the only way we can be warriors for you with this affliction, which is so hard to carry, it's such a burden after many, many years. I ask for you to carry it for us and allow us to reach out and comfort and have some sort of joy and to do your bidding. Be warriors for you. Just compassion, Lord, compassion for others. The only way we can have compassion and not try to hide in the dark corner is by you putting the light in our world and allowing us to see the joy of your creation all where we go. I pray for Dee Dee. Just bring back her ultrasound good, she's got enough on her plate. We all do, but this is burdening her. Don't let her fear. Let her trust in you. Let us all trust in you. Please, Lord, please, please remove the boundaries that put chains on our souls and require us to stay in one place and not be social and loving like you want us to be. In Jesus' name I give thanks. Amen. All right, all right. Susan, All right, Susan has been told that she has to have a full body PET scan and a CAT scan after having multiple MRIs. All right, let's see. After having multiple MRIs, I am aches to go anxious. Is that anxious? All right. All right. Okay, Susan. Okay, why did you ask your doctor, why are you having a PET scan and a CAT scan? All right, because PET scans and CAT scans don't necessarily deal with neurological issues, right? So everybody chime in. Susan is getting a PET scan and a CAT scan. She's nervous leaving the state without having that. Uh, Susan, why? All right, dump more information here because I don't think Ruth and Connie and let's see, Susan and AJ and Dennis. I just don't think we all have enough information. She said I can. Let's see, just a second. Just a second. All right, let's see. She said I can get it scheduled before time to do that and not, all right, just a second. I'm trying to read this out loud. And not go. So it turns out I can get scheduled early. All right. Okay. Okay. Because I'm not your doctor, because none of us are doctors, we have to tread lightly on giving you advice or comforting you, Susan. What I will say is that you bring up that your doctor is it your general practitioner, because we have to establish who is ordering a PET scan and a CAT scan for you. Why are they ordering this? Because PET scans and CAT scans, chime in, PET scans and CAT scans don't reveal any neurological activity. We've got a nerve problem. So let me, yes, AJ is right, Dulcie. Maybe she's just talking out loud. You know what, AJ? God bless you. You're a discernment. AJ says, uh, AJ says that we need to pray for Susan's discernment. And I love that. I love that. Discernment and direction. All right. And he said, maybe, you know what? And Dee Dee, I love you, Dee Dee. I've been praying for you. Dee Dee is great. She, you know, all of us. In fact, the mammogram place has been harassing me to get an annual mammogram. My doctor wants me to have another colonoscopy. Yeah, 54, 54. And I'll tell you why. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So God bless you, Dee Dee, for having the mammogram. My mom had breast cancer, so I'm at higher risk. I was on Navantran. But you know what? I'm worn out. I'm worn out. I don't even want to talk to family members who call because it's isolationist. It's you know, I got bigger problems than have. I don't know. I don't know. All right. All right. I've never had issues with her hips, legs, and arms. Last time showed bone lesions. Bone lesions. All right. The last MRI showed bone lesions, bright white, so it could be bone cancer. MS related. It, Susan, you're deeper. You're a deeper Christian than worrying. Remember, look, where's your bookmark, Susan? The bookmark. Do I worry about things that may not happen in the future? Deal with it then. Just go along, go along. It's you know the anxiety we have, it generally is because we put it on ourselves. My husband, my sweet husband, I came back. I said, I'm going to make lasagna yesterday. And then I said, I was at the pool and I was so tired. And I said, you know what? The trend is walking tacos. And my nephew, I saw him at the pool. I'm telling you what, this is how bad. This is how bad. I see my nephews. I see this younger generation that I share DNA with. You know what? I'm not a mother, but I can only assume how you mothers feel because I see Nick there and he pulls out his taco thing that it's a walking taco. He pulls out a spoon. He says, "You want a bite?" I love that kid. I love that kid. He's my godson. Love that kid. I said, absolutely, I want to bite. I don't know. I just love that. So, all right, long story short, I'd rather go for a trip first out. You know what, Susan? Trusting God. We'll say a prayer for you. This is what the religious, the not religious, but the saved, the living in God's world Dulci would do in your shoes. This is what I would do, right, Susan? You wanted because you wanted advice, and we're not going to give you advice, which is why, uh, but suggestion, tell everybody she wants to know what to do. Well, and we're not going to tell her what she should do. She wants to go on this trip before getting the PET scan or the CAT scan to find out if she's got bone cancer. Yeah. All right. So, what would you do? What advice? It's not advice. What would you do personally if it was your situation? What I would do, Susan, is I'd say the prayer, dear Heavenly Father, I'm not going to worry about anything, right? Philippians 4:6 says, worry about nothing but in everything. Through prayer and petition, make your requests known to God. May the peace which surpasses all understanding keep your hearts and minds on Christ Jesus. So Sarah would say that, right? In James, I think it's James 1:6. I know it says you have to you be obedient, has to believe in their prayer, has to be obedient to respect God's power to answer your prayer and trust in that and know that God's gonna cover you. Or the James says in there that says if you're not obedient, knowing God's power to answer your prayer in any way He wants, right? If you don't know that you might as well be a sinner. If you pray something, you're like, well, I hope God answers that, then He's not going to. He's not going to, right? Obedience lies in knowing God's power. God is in control. There is nothing out. There is nothing out there that God isn't aware of. All right. So Susan, all right, you're not worried. That's good. That's first time. So Susan said she's not worried. All right. What I would do is trusting God. Put the PET scan, the CAT scan on one camel. Send that camel back for after your 2-week trip and pray to God and trust to God and not worry about it, right? Because if God, if Birds don't save up seeds, and God cares for them. What makes you think He's not going to care for you? You. All right, let's show our obedience. Let's show our obedience and live our life and trust in God. Death has no sting. I mean, Sarah, you can get hit you can get struck by lightning when you get the mail. Anything can happen. We're here but a blink of an eye. So all we have to do is live our life like Mr. Magoo. I want everybody watching this to pull up on YouTube an old episode of Mr. Magoo. This is what my husband and everybody I've got the luck of Riley. And so many people said, oh my goodness, you're so brave. You flew across country. You did it by yourself. You traveled for 15 hours. You lost your suitcase. It's crazy. You're just crazy. And you went into the desert 100 degrees, 105 degrees. You went there with MS, with thermal regulatory disorder, without just, I wasn't worried. And my husband said, you're going to go out there and you're not going to be able to get back. And so many people said, oh, the Southwest pilots are on strike. You're in trouble. I'm not hearing it. I'm like, I'm not hearing it. So when Southwest told me the third flight, they said, if you get off this flight, we're not going to reschedule you. It's a third flight. And they said, if you get off this flight, we are not going to refund your money. You have to buy a new. Hi, April is with us on Facebook. But all right. So what was I just saying? I don't want to lose my train of thought. I did when I looked. I, all right. Yeah. Ruth is all right. So Ruth is going to get her Tisabri infusion. It's great stuff. But again, so when they closed Phoenix Sky Harbor because of a dust storm monsoon going through for 2 hours, I had my own row on the seat going from Palm Springs to Phoenix, but the plane was everything was closed. I had a pillow behind my back. I had the whole plane. There's only 49 people on this 200 passenger plane, but we're all going and we want to get a connecting flight. So I'm sitting there and I was told I got off the plane, I wouldn't get a refund. So I was going to sit there for, I don't know what was going to happen, but you know what? God, as my witness, that was my flight. I was born, they could have put on the side of the plane, uh, Baltimore or bust, because that's true. So Susan, all right, and Susan, oh, Gina, my love it. Gina, seeing your name elates me because it's that we were talking about isolation. When we don't feel good, we don't want to do anything. So Sarah, get out, or Susan, get out, trust in God, and do not worry about these tests because I'll tell you what, this is how awful it's gotten. All right. My neurologist wants to see me every 3 months. All right, every 3 months. 3 months. Please, as if, all right, I've had this for 40, no, 30, I don't know. They traced it back to me having my first symptoms in 84. In 84. So I used to want to go see the neurologist every year and a half. And now they want every 3 months. I had to sign off for a new scooter. I had to get a sign off for occupational therapy. I did all of this. And you know what? I called my neurologist and I said, all right, I was there last week. I had my infusion for rituximab, generic rituximab. The following month, I had so many copays. Is there a way you can just fill out this form and send it back? Well, the neurologist, or sorry, the secretary said, no, you have to come in. They needed another copay. I don't know. This is a new way. No, I did occupational therapy. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an occupational therapist to come in, walk through my house, and give me ideas. Hi, Dee. Give me ideas on how uh, we can better modify this home so it's not such effort. You know, the more things require effort, the greater chance of failure we have, right? By the way, Susan, did we answer your question? Did we answer? All right, Gina driving to her neuro going. You know what? All right, Gina. Hi, Dee Dee. All right. Let's see. If you guys see this little pouch. Yeah, yeah. That you have to go to an MS Society. Ask for navigator. A navigator. Hi, and Andrea. Ask for navigator. MS Society navigator. They'll help get get you what you need. Susan says, let's see. All right, so Susan's got a game plan on what to do. What are you going to do, Susan? What are you going to do? Tell us all. All right. All right. So Ruth sold 50 milligram comic two items. That's an additive. Who said 50 milligrams? All right. Ruth, who said? All right. You saw a comment. Yeah. Again, nobody's. I hope nobody runs out and gets a prescription for LDN that high. I called my general practitioner, and he had some hesitation. So what I'm going to do is I have to call my neurologist, who probably is going to want to copay. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But again, the more things that more responsibilities we have to do. The PET scan, the CAT scan, the mammogram, the colonoscopy, the all this stuff, uh, as well as getting uh, different your eyeglasses. You have to get your eyes checked. Some of us have double vision or optic neuritis. Some of us have problems swallowing. When and there's thickener. There's thickener you can get inside your water that you can pour, and it just makes it thicker so you don't choke on water. I mean, it's so when somebody comes up to you and says, you know, my ankle has been bothering me for about a week. It's like, and you listen to that, you have to divorce yourself from what you're feeling. Because, hi, Diana, because you know what? If we get into a pissing contest, right? If we, tick for tack, somebody says, well, you know what? I'm having a surgery because I have spinal stenosis uh, in my neck. It's like, you just don't want to go there. Oh, you get spinal stenosis, do you have lesions? How is your myelin covering your nerves? You know, yes, yes. Slow, and that's right. Sarah said, slow down. Yeah. But what was so beautiful about Brian Daniel, what was so beautiful about my husband is I came back, I was talking about all the food I was going to make, and I sat down, and the one person who I got to always be around looked at me and he said, don't put this pressure on you to create these dinners for me, for us. You know, if you want to do that 3 nights a week, if you want to have a sit down, that's great. But you put such pressure on yourself. It is. And you know what, April's talking about LDN. All right. You know what is so fantastic? What not fantastic? What is great is that LDN now, um, it increases your energy. It helps with pain. Uh, it's used actually. If you look that up, uh, there's many uses for it. Lou Gehrig's disease. By the way, I got a friend who really, she's so sweet. Years ago, she came to me and she said, "Help me get diagnosed with MS because something is wrong. Something is wrong." And she wanted me to diagnose her with MS. And then she wanted my help to get in touch with a neurologist that would help diagnose her with MS. Well, guess what? All right. Guess what? Hang on a minute. All right. I got a phone call coming in. All right. All right. So guess what happened? She came to me and she said she's 58. She came to me and she said she had been diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. Lou Gehrig. So I've been going to the gym and she goes often. She gets sweaty. She runs at the gym. She lifts weights and she's amazing. So she comes to me and she says, "How you doing?" Now she's beginning stage of Lou Gehrig's disease. And yesterday she went, "How you doing? How you doing, Dulcie?" And I couldn't even talk. I mean, I was antisocial. So I know that I didn't want to say anything to her because I said, I'm struggling today. And she says, she wanted to say, instead of going to the pool, she wanted to save her energy because she's going out with her friends in the evening. And she was going to tell them, she embraces this. She's at peace with her diagnosis. She is, it is so wonderful. And I remember telling her when she was first diagnosed, I said, you know what, you are about to see God in everything and realizing God working through you. It's is nasty as a diagnosis as it is. All right, April, my phone, you're cutting off. No, somebody just tried to call me. That's why I was cut off on Facebook for a short time. So that's not your fault. That was I should have turned that off. But so you gotta ask yourself, what if you were diagnosed with something that results in you being closer to God, to being more at peace? It's a good thing. All right. So if you, Connie, if you go to Meerkats, MS Meerkats, it's posted the YouTube page that you can click on and join that. The Facebook, yeah, I don't know why it's kicking in. It's a live feed, and anyway. So all right, LDN. I love that you said that. Let's all look into it. So what I'm saying is that low dose nitroxylate, or uh, uh, no, I said that wrong. It's the anti-narcotic thing. The low dose LDN is used for Alzheimer's. It's used for Lou Gehrig's disease, MS, so many different. If you go to low dose, let me see. Here we go. Let me go over here. Hang on. Okay. It's low dose. No, no. Let's see. NAL Trexone. Naltrexone. All right. .org. All right. Hi, Sarah. So go to low, LOW, dose, DOSE, NAL, naltrexone, NALTRXONE.org. All right. If you go there, it'll tell you everything you need to know. Hi, Rose. It's true. Compassion, all right? And Sarah's talking about compassion, being diagnosed with something that allows you to have compassion for other people. It's better to be diagnosed with something that is catastrophic, that is terrible, so that you can feel what it's like to have compassion or love, or it's better because God's grace is made, his power is made perfect in weakness. It's I flew cross country, Susan, cross country. I wasn't afraid of anything because I knew God would bring people to me to comfort me and to help enable me and to do things. So we can do that for each other. It really good. Yeah. All right. Sarah said she started with low dose naltrexone. Naltrexone. I'm going to pronounce it. I think I'm going to try to get that word right. But anyway, she started that, and all right, I just saw that. All right, at 2 milligrams. No, she started at 0.25 milligrams. So what I want to know from you, Sarah, is how do you feel? Who's taking LDN at what amount, and how do you feel? What symptoms is it helping? Right? What is it helping? I'm going to call my neurologist and I'm going to ask for this. I have to, because you know what you guys told me, forget about narcotics, do the medical marijuana, which I followed and I listened, and I've come to the conclusion medical marijuana, the strains are best for us in the evening. All right, where does it lie? Okay, your brain, my brain goes really fast and my body crashes. We with MS, we are happiest when our brain and our body are congruent, when they're aligned. So what do? Hi, Jerry. Oh my God. LDL or LDN is low dose naltrexone. Naltrexone. It is naltrexone is what they give you when you OD on heroin. But in low dose, very low dose, it helps with energy, concentration. It helps. All right, my nose is itching. All right. And now they're saying that bladder cancer, oh my goodness, it's a cancer. All right, I need a tissue because my nose itches. All right, and it's natural. So, hi, Paul. Anyway, I'm supposed to see you on Monday. So, I would on Monday. So I'm looking forward to it on the 4th of July. I hope you're there. I hope you think. I don't know. I hope you're there. So, okay, low dose natron, and this is something, Paul, you may want to look into. I think low dose naltrexone is something that we. Here's a doctor who says it may be the most important therapeutic breakthrough in 50 years. It provides a new, safe, and inexpensive method of medical treatment by mobilizing the natural defense of one's own immune system. Uh, so I'm going to call, there's compound pharmacies. I've gotten them all. I could get I could call and get this, but I'm going to do something that is not like me. I'm actually going to call my neurologist. Stuff that I always tell you, we're not doctors, right? Because what do I do? I fail epically to all teach you what not to do, right? And then I suggest you go to your doctor. And general practitioners really, it's your neurologist. I think go to low dose naltrexone, print out your information and bring it to your doctor, or email your doctor, or fax this, take a picture of this. Uh, and there's somebody saying, as all right, and 3 months, there's a guy with bladder cancer that said he was taken care of. Uh, oh my goodness. Uh, so, so I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. My general practitioner says I don't want you to take anything that would make narcotics not work because I had been on pain medication so long, but I'm gonna try it. So with medical marijuana, it's a wonderful thing to in the evening to take something to slow your brain down to match where your body is. In the past, you know what I speed my body up, but when my body sped up is not working the way I want it to, then at least to get my brain and my body aligned, right, with medical marijuana, because drugs don't, narcotics, Ritalin, Provigil, none of this stuff works after a while. It just doesn't. Caffeine, I don't know. So what I'm going to say is that I'm going to try this. I tried medical marijuana because of you guys, uh, which is wonderful because I'm not taking any narcotics anymore, only in an emergency. I carry them with me. Let me tell you something. Uh, wait a minute here. Okay. Okay. So Susan, you're gonna go on your trip and you're not gonna worry. You're not gonna You're not. You're going to lean in. And you have all of our emails. You've got our phone numbers. Take it with you. Susan, if you need encouragement, if you need love or a prayer or anything, reach out to us, right? Hi, Dean. I got a feeling it's you, Jan. But anyway, I love you both. So I'm talking with all of you. Let's all live life boldly not listening to what people are trying to tell you, but trust God, trust yourself. Uh, in fact, if you trust God and you allow God to work through you to make you an instrument of His peace, right? If we can do that, then it doesn't matter how we feel. It doesn't matter. God's going to make us a productive member of society. We're gonna love on other people. Dean, Dean, you guys need to be by the pool at the Bel Air Athletic Club. They Brazilian bikinis are allowed. So anyway, you guys, you should walk out there and look at all the butt cracks that are being displayed. Anyway, I love you all. I love you all. Um, Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your encouragement. Uh, Big time. All right, let's go out and do something, even if it's wrong. Happy 4th of July on Independence Day. Let's see, on Monday. So on Tuesday, the day after, we're going to have this. So have a happy weekend, wonderful weekend, and go with God. Love you all. Lord, I pray. Let me just pray this out. Lord, thank you so much for everybody who's here today. Thank you for sharing with Ruth and Sherry. It just and Connie, Lord, uh, Sarah, anybody who shared about LDN to just, Lord, I know you're working through each of us to help each of us live better and not in fear. Lord, I just please make us whole through each other so that we can trust in you. Help us to be obedient and help us to trust only in you and not of the things of the world. In Jesus' name I give thanks. Amen. God bless you. God bless you all. Yeah, all right, Canada Day is tomorrow. So we will see you on Tuesday. Bye, guys.